Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. This is just a quick little thing about what you get in the Chart Patterns Mastery. We have a $7 30-day trial, and I just want to show you a couple of things going on in here. So, number one, and I was told to show this, and I'm happy to show this. This is June profit and loss. So supposedly, if you added all this up, it's 68% positive. Looks like a little more than that. But when you're right, we made $27 for every $9 we lost. So 1 to 3, not bad, not bad. I'll do that any day. So just to let you know, that's what we've done in there. Now, getting back to it, I wanted to show you my basic things. So number one, I've been doing this 43 years, including being a floor trader for 8 years on the CBOE, which really helps me with option pricing. So 0 DTE, no doubt about it. We go over all the time 0 DTE, but our best trades are usually 0 DTE for the following day. So we did that today. We made about 40% on a trade in the XSP for today. So all we did in here was this. So XSP, this is 1/10 of the SPX. So now keep in mind, I love showing chart patterns, but I also like 3 reasons to take a trade. Anybody that tells you that all you need is charts, wrong. I've been doing this a long time. I've been making money for 43 years. You combine different factors. So like today, Nvidia shareholders meeting. Nvidia opened up. Lots of times that means it goes back to unchanged with the noon shareholders meeting, but you combine it with a bear flag that presented itself. So just keep that in mind of how we're looking at that. So 3 reasons to do trades. Been doing this 43 years, and and it's still working. So just keep that in mind, and that's what we're doing in here. So what else are we doing? Well, I'm trying to show you the 3 reasons we do trades. Now, keep in mind, this is what we did in here. So yesterday, we bought this. Probably, we took the 40%. Let's just put it this way. See this trade, 9-point wide, 4-point wide on the thing that's 1/10 of the SPX. So we bought some at $1.47. We sold them at $2.10. I'll do that any day. So that's a good percentage right there. If you did a 2-lot, you're talking about making $100 on basically, not much of an investment, 40% gain. So how do we do that? Well, let's go over it and I'll show you how. Now, keep in mind, we're not 68% positive means you're going to have some losses, but I'll show you. We're down in one stock. On the other hand, GTBIF is a lot bigger position. And right now we're up, I sold some here. So 800 share, $320 worth. So not bad. Not bad. Why? Because of a bull flag. We'll trade bull flags. We'll trade bear flags. We'll trade everything. So just keep that in mind. I'm not just going to be a perma bear whatsoever. I'm going to look for opportunities on both sides of the market. So what I thought I'd show is the first thing is I'd show a bull flag. There's your bull flag in GTBIF right there. Now, keep in mind, it's not just bull flags. We also look for bull flags within things. So if we see like a rectangle and we see a bull flag within a rectangle or a triangle, the more important. So what are we talking about? You go into here and we're going into this. So we don't like buying on the way down. This support zone stuff is in the long run doesn't make you money. What makes you money is if something hits support and then forms some kind of identifiable pattern. So right here, there's a triangle for you. What happened? It broke the triangle and then formed a bull flag. Now, do you get out of some? Yeah, that's why I have to sell some. In fact, it's right at resistance. I might sell more. So just keep that in mind. But that's a kind of bull flag. So there are a number of flags. In a bull market, you're going to see a lot of bull flags. So the first thing I thought I'd show you is, why is this a bull? What works for a bull flag? Well, number one, hedge funds use a 9 EMA, a 20 SMA, a 50 SMA, and a 200 SMA. That's what they use. So that's what the majority of funds use. So that's what I use. For a daily chart, I'll use a 50 SMA and an ATR trailing stop. So I'm going to make this nice and big, nice red 50 SMA. This is determining that something's in an uptrend. If I see a bull flag in an uptrend, yeah, that's more likely to break up. So the other thing, though, is we combine the MACD. So you can use a stochastic and RSI, whichever works for you, just to know that if you're getting into too early. What do I mean by too early? You see it right here. Big old bull marketing in Google, but it was overbought on the bottom. So that doesn't mean it can't go higher, but the key on there is you want to see it get overbought and work off that MACD by forming a bull flag. As you see, it sort of did. I would call that sort of a bull flag, but the key is to buy on the breakout. Pretty exciting. How about here? Was that a little bull flag? Yeah, that was a little bull flag. Not a perfect one. That one was right there. There's a beautiful bull flag for you. What's this look like? Looks like GTBIF. So a bull flags a lot of times go up by the previous move, and you're taking the daily chart was in an uptrend. So I can't impress enough how that daily chart makes a difference. So if it's in an uptrend, definitely you see what we're talking about in here, and you're seeing about that. By the way, if you're watching in the Chart Patterns Mastery, I'm piecing out a little more GTBIF. Good trade, taking my 5%. You just got to take some off the table. So keep in mind, a lot of what we do is money management. So we're definitely into bull, bear, and Brecher ledges. So Brecher ledge is a bearish pattern. Bear flag is a bearish pattern. Well, you probably already figured that out. But the key is, you're not going to be perfect. So if this starts breaking up, there's no reason you can't sell a little in here. That's when we talk about playing with house money, because then you can let the rest run. So that's how I do a lot of this. So what else are we watching in here? Well, like I said, those are your bull patterns. Now we're going to combine a fundamental force with the bear pattern. I'll tell you what we're watching. So give me 1 second. I'm actually putting in trades for our Chart Patterns Mastery Room. So just you got to understand that I'm trying to post to them. I have a responsibility to my subscribers to be around the computer all day. I'm not going to play golf or whatever. Now, we have some trees that fell, and I have somebody cutting the trees. And if it hits the house, I might have to temporarily leave the chat. But combining things, Nvidia. Now, I'm not saying Nvidia is going down or going up. I can show you resistance levels, support levels, but I will tell you that if a stock, and I'll show you because this worked great. So Nvidia has their shareholders meeting today at noon Eastern. Like I said, if you have somebody that says, oh, all that matters are charts, forget about it. A lot of things matter. I like 3 reasons. 3 reasons can be different things. What was the reasons in Nvidia? Number 1, you're definitely going on this. So you're going on number one about it going to unchanged prior to the shareholders meeting, which is what it did. Number two, you're taking the resistance zone. This is what I was obsessing about this morning. So pre-market 2 days ago, it went to its support zone. Prior support becomes prior resistance becomes support. Bull flag, by the way. Bull flag, by the way. Prior resistance, we call this the stuck zone, where people got stuck on the way down. So pre-opening, it went there. So now what are you doing? Well, it opened up. And the theory is if it opens up, then you're going on unchanged, betting on it going to, at the minimum, unchanged prior to the shareholders meeting. You're also combining that it hit resistance. But, and this is where fundamentals, the resistance area, and the intraday chart jived up. There is a bear flag. So take off the 20. I don't use a 20 on an intraday chart. I don't use a 50 on an intraday chart. I might use a 20 sometimes, but not literally. If you took a 20, look how many times you got stopped. Use the ATR trailing stop. If something gets too far from the ATR trailing stop, I might use a 20. But the thing is that if you get too gobbed up with moving averages, well, you're going to see what happens. So it chops you up. So we're going on that. We're going on bear flag, betting also that it stopped at resistance and they have a shareholders meeting coming out. Also, trend lines. The more points of contact, the more important. And you got that trend line break. And you got the bear flag. Guess what? This is called a Brecher ledge. So after a sell-off, a horizontal bear flag, close to a horizontal, and this horizontal bear flag are beautiful things that we talk about all the time in the Chart Patterns Mastery room. Now, keep in mind, there are a lot of other rooms all over the internet that all they do is show you buy ideas. You got to see both sides of the equation. Do we look for buy ideas? All the time. But just keep in mind, in the back of our mind, we're also looking at short ideas. So we're looking at both sides. It all depends on how the markets are presenting themselves. So I just can't make that more clear. In there, how the markets are presenting themselves. So if you see bearish patterns, you play it on the downside. And if you see bullish patterns like back here, darn right you play it on the upside. I am totally agnostic when it comes to all these ideas. I just want to make that clear. Totally agnostic when it comes to these ideas. And I'll play it both ways. So definitely play it both ways. And I think that's the key to long-term success, is playing both sides of the coin. And that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm constantly putting in orders for our subscribers. I'm constantly managing our positions. So I'm not doing something then leaving. I'm not trying to come up with some magic indicator that works for everything. Every day the conditions change. The conditions today, Nvidia hit resistance up here. It had a shareholders. These were all posted prior to the day. So this had resistance. It has a shareholders meeting, and it had a bear flag. 3 reasons. Like I said, every day those reasons change. So just keep that in mind. That's the way I look at it. Different reasons. Now, if I'm day trading, I'm going to use a 2-minute chart. I'm going to use a 15-minute chart. I'm going to use a number of different charts. Just keep that in mind. So definitely, it depends on your time frame. If I'm going to play it as a swing trade, I'm going to look for an hourly reversal pattern. This is why we shorted here. the big red candle. Big red candle. So just keep that in mind, the big red candle, how important that is. That showed a change of direction. That's what I telegraphed everybody would happen. Now, why? Because post-split, usually a lot of these can continue up. It's the sell-off like that that matters. Then you look for bearish patterns. And that's the way that we've been playing these things. Rally to resistance, the stuck trade where everybody got stuck. And that's how we're trying to play it. We're trying to combine three reasons, and those three reasons can change every day. I just can't stress that enough. And that's what we try to teach. And so right now, what do you do with the markets? Well, let's go over it. Let's go over real quick. Do I have three reasons to play the ES on the downside? Well, it's at support. Not yet. We had earlier. We saw this trend line, just like Nvidia had a trend line. Now it doesn't. I mean, you had your reasons. Definitely had your reasons. Number two, support. You don't short when oversold. It's support. Yeah, I try to combine all these reasons. They're really, really, really powerful. I just can't stress that enough. And that's how we try to do these things. So right now, I don't have a lot of time. I have all of 3 minutes. So I have to go and promote myself. There is your 30-day chart patterns mastery trial. Now, keep in mind, there are other trials on Simpler. Not a lot of them do bullish and bearish patterns. Just keep that in mind. You get 30-day full access. 0 DTE, like I said, we did a great trade overnight. Also on Fridays, to me, that means 0 DTE for every stock that has a weekly. And market correlations, I just showed you a couple of them. So Nvidia selling off, what's that mean to me with the overall markets? Means the markets are probably selling off if Nvidia was the thing that took them up in the first place. You also get my live trading, Eastern, 9 to 10. So you get a half-hour preparation, 3 to 4 at the end of the day. We like playing end-of-day stuff too if they present themselves. Yesterday in Apple, we did a great trade. Real-time alerts. I'll post alerts. You get them on real time. I love answering questions. Just keep that in mind. They're never dumb. Keep in mind, when I traded on the floor for 8 years, heck, I worked as a clerk for a year. I asked all kinds of shapes and sizes of questions. I'm sure some of them weren't. Well, let's just put them this way. They were gracious about every question. They were amazing, the traders. Also, recorded sessions. I have things on bull flags, bear flags. I have things on correlations as well. And as you see in here, that I have a recorded session on correlations. Want more? Team members are available to help you. Either call, do the support. And also, I post a lot on Stock Twits. Don't hesitate to put something on there as a question. So I hope you like this. Everybody take care, and thanks so much for listening. Hope to see you join the site.